All right. So with the semaglutide, because people are going to get mad at me if I don't ask all these questions.
Yep.
With the semaglutide and PCOS, because that was one of the really big questions that we got. We were on a live stream, and semaglutide got brought up because we have a lady that has been a fan of ours since we were on just TikTok, and we call her the Monster Slayer, and like we know her kids. We know this lady's fucking life at this point. We get email updates from her like every 3 weeks.
Shout out.
For like the last 7 months. So
Yeah.
we're ingrained in this at this point. We're like watching Lifetime television shows. We're reading her emails. It's her life. But she was having issues with her hormones, and I had been pushing the hormone check. Get your blood work. And she went and got her blood work done, and they gave her semaglutide. And within like 3 weeks, we got a message back, and she's like, "Hey, I'm fucking losing weight. I feel amazing. I have energy again. Like, this is the greatest thing that I've ever taken, blah, blah, blah." And then because that got brought up and then the hormone thing got brought back up, the PCOS thing came. And I didn't know what that was. She had to explain it to me. And then obviously the chat then had to correct and everything too. Well, I can't believe you know what that is. Let me explain it to you. But when I messaged you, you got back to me immediately saying that you guys have therapies for that. How does that work?
So the semaglutide specifically, so PCO.
Am I saying it wrong?
It's no, we are.
Okay.
I say semaglutide. Ken and any other medical professional would say semaglutide.
Okay.
I don't know what you're saying.
Semaglutide.
Yeah.
Sema.
My mind went to Smeagoltide.
Yeah. I was saying semaglutide. So it's SEMA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So PCOS is caused by insulin, whether it's too low or probably even too high. Semaglutide, or semaglutide, that's what it does. It controls those insulin levels.
Okay.
It rights that wrong, and that's why it helps with PCOS.
So if people have a high what is it? AC1? What is
AC1C, A1C.
A1C. Does semaglutide help that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, it really is the miracle drug that people are calling it. And there are more iterations of it coming down the pipe. Is it pipe or pike?
Pipe.
Okay.
Sounds about right. I don't know.
I would say pipe.
Yeah.
Pipe.
I always say pipe.
Coming down the road.
Yeah.
That are going to be even better.
Shit rolls downhill. We'll get it eventually.
So the way that it works right now, semaglutide is a GLP-1 agonist. So it works with like one mechanism. Tirzepatide, which is more expensive. I can't say that it's doubly as effective, but it works off of 2 different mechanisms. So semaglutide is basically like you've got like one guy screaming at your brain saying you're not hungry. And tirzepatide is like having 10 guys screaming at your brain saying you're not hungry for most people. But there's other ones coming that are supposed to be even better. It really is as effective as people say it is.
So what was the second one that you just called it?
Tirzepatide.
Is that something that you guys are going to have soon?
We have it now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would rather have 10 guys yelling at me than I'm not hungry than one.
Well, so what I would say though is the semaglutide is like half the price.
Yeah.
Try that first. If that works for a lot of people, and then you can step up. You have to retitrate, start with the low dose and build your way back up. But if you stall out on it, or if it doesn't work as well as you're hoping, try the tirzepatide and have somewhere to go from there, you know?
Yeah. My best friend Sean is so he's a very big dude, and he's got all kinds of health issues. He's got lymphedema. I kept wanting to say lymphoma, and I know that's not the right word. He's got lymphedema really bad in his legs, like they're very swollen. And he's seen vein specialists and a whole bunch of people to try to drain his legs, and they're like, this is just because of your weight, and they're like giving him all these bullshit excuses. And the doctor that he's going to also he dabbles in hormone replacement. But when I saw that doctor and told him that I was taking 200 milligrams a week, he's like, that's way too much. Like, and he wants to do 1 shot a week. And from my understanding of the way that the esters work, you don't want to do that. Like, you want to break your shots up so that you can stay at a high level versus having the roller coaster. And that doctor gave him semaglutide. That's how I'm going to remember that now. Gave him semaglutide, and he started him at 2 units to IUs, and then told him to go to 4 and then add 2 to it because he like tripled his dosage. And I got a text message from Sean the other day, and he's like, dude, I'm dying. I'm like, what do you mean you're dying? He's like, I almost can't make it to my bathroom, and my couch is 6 feet from my bathroom door. He's like, if I think I have to go to the bathroom and I don't get up and go, I'm going to shit myself. Yeah. And he was throwing up. He thought that he had food poisoning, and he was going back and forth with the doctor. They prescribed him something to help with nausea, and told him to drink Pedialyte and shit to replenish the electrolytes. But it lasted for like a week.
Yeah.
And he couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And then when I talked to Kenneth told me all the side effects that can come with that. And sure enough, like that doctor boosted his shit way up way too fast, and he had a bunch of side effects from it. So is that like a normal concern for people? Like how is that? I know this isn't your forte, so
it's something that you'd want to mention, right? Like it is a potential side effect. I didn't have any issues. Kayla's taken it. She didn't have those types of issues. I haven't heard from patients that have had horrible issues. And to put that into perspective, so we would start, I want to say it's like 0.25 milligrams for the first maybe week or two, which is probably lower than I think you said, like 2 IUs or something.
Yeah.
And every pharmacy compounds it differently, so we'd have to do the math again to figure out
Right.
like what the milligram is there. But no, yes, it's something that I would mention. It can cause issues, GI issues, but I don't want to downplay it. But that's a
Right.
severe case.
yeah,
Like
it was like
yeah.
he texted me. It was like 4:30 in the morning. He's like, dude, I haven't slept in 24 hours, which is
Yeah.
not. He's one of those people that will micro nap. He'll get 10 or 15 minutes and he's up, and 10 or 15 because of his size.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have not slept. He's like, I'm afraid to go anywhere other than my couch because if I don't make it to the bathroom, I'm gonna shit all over the place. And like that, when you hear something like that, that's not a very good sales ad for
No.
taking something, But I know that I've also taken it, and I didn't have any of the side effects. I didn't get the headaches. I didn't have nothing. Like,
Yeah.
But I also started at a very low dose. And when he told me the doctor bumped him from 2 IUs to 6, I'm like, bro, that sounds like a kind of extreme jump.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he said because of my size, it's not a big deal. And then that happened.
It's a
I'm
big
like,
deal.
Yeah. Yep. So, and the reason I brought that up, and I did want to kind of tie this back, is because I think that there's a difference between a specialist and a family doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And like you had a doctor tell you that you had a beard and therefore you didn't have low testosterone.
Yeah.
So having somebody that's in a family practice or a small business or even even like a Horizon Medical, like a big thing, if they don't specialize in this and they dabble in it, they're obviously not going to know enough. This falls into the Dunning-Kruger effect. They know enough to be dangerous and think they fucking know everything, and then when they realize they don't, that slope happens. Do you see a lot of like family doctors dabbling in this now? Like, is this because it's lucrative?
Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of primary cares, endocrinology, urology that all do it. And, there's a lot of guys out there that, you give them their 200 milligrams a week and they're set for life. They don't need an AI. They don't have the acne. They don't have any of the side effects. They're just good. But that's like, 40% of the population that's on TRT. The other 60%, or myself, like I'm a pain in the ass to get dialed in. And I was seeing a primary care in Texas that was awesome. She was great, but she wasn't good enough to
Right.
dial me, So yeah, there's a lot of them that are dabbling in it. It is a lucrative business. Some of them are just completely off the wall. Hey, take this one giant injection once a month.
Right.
Some of them are decent, but yeah, you won't find a better testosterone expert than what Matrix has, and that's what drew me to them. Their customer service, they care about the patients, and they're just thorough and attentive.
They're definitely thorough. They're definitely thorough.
You didn't get special treatment either. Like that's just what Ken does. He's like, you were probably on the phone with him for 40 minutes or more.
Yeah, it was about 45
so.
minutes. I think that sounds about right. It
And
was
that's
a
just
while.
what
It
he
was a
does.
much longer phone call than I expected.
Yeah.
My previous therapy places, because I've done more than just Titan, those phone calls are 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And they think that you know enough that they're just like, here you go, And like I asked you for a product list of all the therapies or whatever it is that you guys sell, because Titan does compounds.
Yeah.
And like there are a lot of places that are doing injectable vitamins now. This is becoming a big thing. Before I forget, because I will forget, the reason I asked about the therapy through the doctor thing is because do you think that as more small practice doctors get involved in a hormone replacement therapy that it will remove the stigma of testosterone with men?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there's
it'll
a
help.
catch-22 there. Like
Yeah.
it's a good and a bad thing, right? Okay. That's why I brought that up, because somebody asked me the other night about Ink Masters, and it destroyed a whole lot of things in the industry, but it did a whole lot of good for the industry.
Yeah.
So as much as I hated the show, there's a respect for it, right? That's why I asked about the doctor thing. Now I don't remember what I was talking about on the other facet.
You're talking about injectable vitamins.
yes.
That right. So Titan has a lot of compounds, and like I know that there are a lot of bodybuilders on TikTok who are coming up with their own injectable therapies. And like I remember back in the day, you could get on. I'm not going to say the name of the website, just because I don't want people buying shit illegally off the internet and fucking themselves up. But you could find that shit on forums, and there were people that were selling B vitamins, and you could get jars of injectable B vitamins like this, And that was a very big thing, but I never thought that I would see it getting to the point that it is now because it's being studied now. It's no more bro science. Like, so with that, are you guys going to try to keep up with what other people are doing in terms of having all of these injectable vitamins? Or are you going to just stick to what you guys are doing? How is that going to look for the future of Matrix?
So we do the B vitamins and stuff, the injectable stuff.
I love that shit, by the way.
Do you?
Fucking love it. My B vitamin's not bad.
Yeah.
But I'm a workhorse. And when I'm on a B injectable, I don't sleep as much.
Yeah.
Like I'm 4 hours a night, I'm golden. Like I'm fucking good on 4 hours a night. And now when I'm not on anything right now, and my sleep patterns are all over the place. I'll stay up till 2 and sleep until 7.
Yeah.
Or I'll go to bed at 9:30 and sleep until 10. Like it's fucking weird. My body has never done this before. But my hormones are out of whack. My estrogen's through the fucking roof. My testosterone's in the dumps. And I haven't been taking anything because I wanted my blood panel to be clear.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely we have that stuff. There's, and I guess the most professional way to say it is that there's not a lot of marketing plays that we want to do. So a lot of times when you start, mixing and compounding, and we're going to combine this with this, and there are testosterone esters out there that are 3 parts. You get the prop, which is a fast acting. You get the, we don't play with the. I mean, we can get it certainly,
right,
but we don't push that marketing. So any B vitamin that's not proprietary to Titan or to any other clinic, we can get it. We all use the same pharmacies,
right?
So we can get it. We just don't. Our customer is on patient focus and not on like that. Look what cool thing we have. I guess.
Right, that makes sense. I saw that you guys had ECA stacks. And that was one of the things that drew me to Titan in the beginning. Actually, that's exactly what got me to become one of their patients, is because they have an ECA stack.
Yeah.
And I remember the good old days of hydroxycut and Xenadrine.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the fucking best weight loss ever.
Yeah.
You can hype it up on ephedrine all day long and like.
And you could buy it over the counter back then, right?
Yeah. You can't do that shit at all anymore. Mm-hmm. But how does that work? Like, is that something that you guys can just do because it's prescribed? Like, because
yeah. Medically supervised. You meet with a specialist. They put you on a program. It's monitored. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real quick. I was just going to say, from what I've seen, the way you guys handle because I'll typically come to him with I saw this news story over this specific product, and if I think of it, it's relevant to the clinic, and he's always, oh yeah, I know Ken was talking about the other day, or Sean already mentioned that, and either we're looking into it, or we decided that's really not for us because it seems like it's just going to come and go really quickly and not very beneficial.
So the fact that you guys are still involved and like researching shit is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people get a little bit of leeway and find their niche and stay in that, and it's not until like things become big.
Yeah.
They don't research it, so that you guys are on top of the trending curve of things is nice. Do you guys fuck with Phentermine at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like it personally.
Why?
Well, actually, I like it a little too much.
Okay.
I'm like hyper focused on it, and I'm playing the air drums while I'm getting shit done, and then I crash. Took 2 pills a year and a half ago, and just like ED, like you would never believe. My dick was just done.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't experience that when I took it when I was younger, but I don't like it for those reasons. I'm more of an upper guy. Like I tend to like those, so that was just too much. But it works, and some people like it, and we will prescribe it. It's just, if you can get better results with something like semaglutide, and granted semaglutide's more expensive, but if you can get better results with it and you're not stimulated like that, that's what I would.
Some of us like those stimulants, bro.
Yeah, we got them.
Do you remember
cocaine? Yes, I do.
Yeah. No, the 1,3-diethylamine that was in Jack 3D at one point, the pre-workout.
No.
It was making people fail drug tests for meth.
Wow.
Yeah, but like that was one of those things that when I realized that they were banning it and people could only sell what was on their shelves, I went and bought every fucking bottle I could get in the stores. I hit every GNC within like 100 miles of here.
Yeah.
And I had probably 90 bottles of that shit in the cabinet because I like my stimulants. Probably like you said, a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But I'm also not willing to do drugs, so now I just drink a lot of caffeine. But the Phentermine thing was one of those things that I enjoyed too. But it made my sleep patterns go from 4 hours to like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And when you're at 3 o'clock in the morning, you've gotten your hour and a half of sleep, and like everyone else is asleep, and the world is comatose at the moment, and you're like,
Yeah.
it started to fuck with me, and I stopped taking it. I actually think that I got that prescription from like hims.com or something at one point, but that was one of those things that it killed my appetite.
Yeah.
I could go all day long and have like a small meal and it was enough. But you would think that after a while that wouldn't be very good for your body because you're not getting the nutrients you need.
Yeah.
You're up at night like, time to start another business.
Yeah.
Or the rest. You're not getting the rest you need either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't get the recovery in terms of sleep, but there was lots of resting because there's nothing to do at 3 o'clock in the morning other than research camera lenses and microphones and read books. And I got a lot of reading done during that time frame, a whole lot. I put my AirPods in and just audiobook it. It's wild. Things have changed a lot over the last like 3 years because this semaglutide, I keep wanting to call it semaglutide. Semaglutide is a new thing. Like, I hadn't even heard of that until probably 7 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's new and it's remarkable.
yeah. Do you guys do peptides too? So like, I know you mentioned the BPC 157 earlier off camera because of my torn titty, but is that something that you guys do? Is that super expensive?
It's more expensive than you'll find at the research only websites,
Right.
but naturally, right? Because you're getting it from an actual 503B
Right. And you know what you're
pharmacy.
getting.
Yeah. So it's not terribly, it's not semaglutide expensive, but it is more expensive than research.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
And we run specials from time to time. In fact, we just ended one July 7th, I think, where it's like, buy one, get 10% off, 2, 15, 3, 20. And 20% off, if you're talking semaglutide or tirzepatide, 20%.
Adds up.
Yeah, those meds are expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth it though if it does what it's supposed to be doing. That's the problem with the supplement game. People start taking shit like that and expect that instant result, and it's not. It's gonna take time. It took you time to get fat. It's gonna take you time to lose it too.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. But it would be nice to eventually get to that point where there's nanites in our body and we can just open our phone and be like, today I want to speed up that metabolism a lot so that I can eat 3 cheeseburgers, 5 large fries, and 2 steaks.
Beep boop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to get my blood work done.
You do. You do.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, found it entertaining, funny, or even learned something you didn't know before, share it. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? And for those of you who want to support us, get access to exclusive content and live streams, we do have a Patreon. All the links are in the description.